coming to you live to do this training on how I enroll high ticket clients without sales calls. So today I noticed a new feature where, and maybe you guys already know this, but I hadn't seen it before, you can actually tag at everyone when you're going live. So if you don't know how to do that, let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you. Welcome anyway. Let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. And today I'll be sharing exactly what I did to make $73,000 in sales last month without getting on sales calls. And by the number of people that commented on my post, I think this is a very, very popular topic, and I'm looking forward to sharing all the details. I just like honor, color. Yeah, exactly, right. And then mum, there's MUM and MOM, and it's just like, oh my gosh, what do you do as a global brand? Do you stick to your way of spelling, knowing it's probably only a small percentage of people that will connect with that word? Or do you go with, the majority? And it's like, gosh, sometimes to be in my head, this is the small stuff, right? We shouldn't sweat the small stuff, but at the same time, this is the thing that can sometimes we can get into our head about. Thank you, Geneva. I know, right? It's pretty cool. And let me start by saying this. This process of selling without getting on sales calls is still something that I'm refining, right? I am really honest and transparent always about exactly where I am on my business journey. And this is something I am still continuing to refine. But I am going to be sharing today exactly how far I've come and what I've tried and tested and played with and what works and what doesn't work and all the things. It's not been something that I've been doing for a long time, but it is something that I feel like I've figured out pretty fast, right? And I should also say I really enjoy sales conversations. So this is not about avoiding sales conversations, right? Because I know some people don't enjoy them, and that's okay too, and I get that. The only reason I experimented with this is because of the time impact of getting on calls as my business was scaling. So ladies, let me know in the comments, what is your situation? Are you currently having sales calls to land clients, but you don't enjoy them because they make you nervous or they drain your energy in some cases? Or are you just not growing fast enough because they take up too much time, right? So, and you want to manage your hours perhaps, or tell me what your situation is. Good morning, Marie, good to see you. Or is it something else? Yeah, I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. And as you are doing that, for those of you who are new to my world, my name is Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor and a money mindset coach. And I help my clients, who tend to be coaches and consultants and sometimes course creators as well, to package and position their value so they can earn more and work less whilst keeping business super, super simple, right? If you're not sure how I do that, check out the name of this Facebook group. I help my clients to create and sell high ticket offers, and the key is to create an offer so good that it can practically sell itself. I show my clients how to accelerate their authority so they can take their clients from cold to sold really fast. And I teach them how to implement a predictable organic client attraction strategy, right? So today's training is just going to be focused on, obviously, the sales component, but they're the things that I do. And if you want to explore what working with me might look like, and you want to scale your business to multiple six figures in the simplest, most sustainable way you can, then drop #support and let's connect, right? To see if we're a good fit. Now, I do offer an ROI guarantee. So to be a good fit from my perspective, You've got to be an action taker, right? You've really got to be an action taker. And I will help you and bring the mindset and energetics part to this. I will also help you with the strategy, but this is not kind of something that I can. Sometimes as coaches and consultants, not sometimes, often, always, right? Early days of business especially, we have to wear so many hats in business, right? And we have our expertise in a particular modality or a particular space as a coach. Yet we have to be good at sales, we have to be good at marketing, we have to be good at coaching, we have to be good at all the things, yeah? And it's really tricky. And, and not everybody loves sales conversations. I actually quite enjoy them, but this is something that I have tested and implemented in my business through desire, because I want to scale, and this was a problem, right? I wanted to manage my hours, right? That's really the most important thing to me. Balance is so important. I've been there, I've done that, I've hustled, I've burnt out, I've done all the things, right? And now balance is so important to me. And I had to find a solution to enrolling more clients without actually spending hours and hours on sales calls, and if I wanted to scale, otherwise I was the bottleneck. And so I knew that my sales process was a problem in my business, right? And specifically, it was the number of hours that I had in my day and the number of hours I'd have to spend on sales calls in order to achieve kind of my, to have the level of impact that I desire to have as well, right? And there was another part to this, right? And this is a little bit about my personality as well. The truth is, over time, I started to feel a little bit resentful as well, because I'd hop on a Zoom call with a potential client and I knew that we were a really good fit pretty immediately. But sometimes, the conversation still went for way longer than was necessary, because let's face it, I like to chat as well. And I just didn't want to be rude, right? And so tell me, can you relate to this? Being in that kind of, we're heart-centered people, right? And sometimes you want to just get in, have the conversation and get out, but it just seems rude to do that. And so all of that was happening as well. So let me know if you can relate. And let me ask you a question. If you were making a high-ticket purchase yourself, would you want a sales call? Tell me in the comments. If you wanted to make a high-ticket purchase, would you want a phone call? Have you ever made a high-ticket purchase without a sales call? Right? Here's the thing. So yes, Elizabeth, you'd want a phone call or a Zoom call or some sort of call. Is that what you're saying yes to? I think so. Let me know, right? Here's the thing. We tend to attract people like ourselves. So if you require a sales call to give you the peace of mind, to be able to ask the questions, or you just need that extra level of connection because that's really important to you, then it's quite likely your prospects will require one too. Yeah. It's all about it's a combination of how the universe and law of attraction works, and also the energetics that sits behind this, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Even today, if someone said to me, Anne, I really want to work with you, but I'd love to have a quick conversation, I'd allow that. I'd do that, right? I am not against connecting with people and talking to people, right? But I haven't had to do that. And equally, if someone asks for that, I would do that. And so, no, that's not true when I say I haven't had to do that. I have had to do that in the past. But recently, as I've been experimenting, I haven't had to do that. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. So if you require a sales call, then it's kind of likely that your prospects will require one too, right? So that's just food for thought. In July this year, I made a $50,000 investment in my current coach without a sales call, right? I'm not telling you to go and do that. I'm not saying that's necessary to do. But that took a lot of trust. But I felt an immediate shift that happened as a result of me taking that step. Yeah. So there's that. I just wanted to give you that little background. Let me catch up to see. Yeah, you'd want to talk it through, Helen. And look, and that's okay, right? That's completely okay. Yeah, Marie, you're saying, getting on a really quick call, in and out. I've got 2 minutes, ask me everything, and then I'm gone. It just sort of feels, it goes against who I am, right? Because I'm this friendly, happy, chatty person, and it just didn't feel good. And sometimes it was easier to have the longer chats in Messenger, right? So there's that. Yeah, you'd want a call. Have never made a big purchase without one, said Elizabeth. That's fair enough. I want what I want, so I just buy. The sales call is so unnecessary to me personally. Okay, Geneva, that's awesome, right? And hey, Karen, good to see you. But you already know your coach before you made that investment. Yeah, look, and that's the thing, right? And that's a really important point, Elizabeth. So part of our work is also making sure we're giving our prospects and future clients an opportunity to get to know us in so many different ways. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that in the strategy part as well. But that's really important, right? If we're like the best kept secret, then, and we're not showing up and people don't really get to know us, like us, and trust us in a public sense, then obviously they're not just going to just click and buy, right? Especially not high ticket. So that's the part around, it's really important for us to kind of, establish ourselves in that regard as well. So I knew like I said before, I knew that my current sales process wasn't going to be sustainable for me in the long term, right? And that's kind of the reason why I started to look at alternative solutions. So I considered hiring, and some businesses have like appointment setters and closers and that kind of thing. And I actually tested that a little bit as well. And it worked okay. And I also started testing offering a call and selling in the DMs, right? Now, typically, selling in the DMs is essentially having the whole sales conversation from start to finish inside of your inbox. Yeah. So all those sorts of discovery questions that you might ask in a sales conversation, and all the things you would do, you'd be doing that in the inbox, right? Without having to hop on a sales call. So, and I'm guessing a lot of you are kind of here thinking, well, that's essentially what I'm talking about, right? Because let me know in the comments, are you already selling in the DMs to some extent, or you're not, or it's not working, or what's going on? Or are you doing this whole sales conversation and it's not working in the DMs? Tell me a little bit about what's going on with you so I can kind of give you some specific feedback as well. So the reason I ask is all this, when I initially tested that approach of not offering sales calls, but just basically having the entire sales conversation inside of the DMs, all that really did was shift the time from the Zoom call to the DMs. Yeah. And it did save some time for sure, because there was less chit chat, when there's more typing and messaging and whatever, there's less of that kind of other sort of conversations that can happen, if you're on Zoom or talking to someone. But it didn't necessarily free up a lot of time, right? So I had to evolve my strategy and solution, right? And Okay, so Elizabeth said, I only DM'd people to invite them onto a call with me. Okay, perfect, that's fine. Which is essentially what I used to do as well, right? Which is essentially what I used to do. So then I evolved that to kind of having the entire sales conversation in the DMs. Yeah, and that worked. It's not that it didn't work, but it didn't necessarily save a whole lot of time, right? It freed up some time for sure, but it was like a stepping stone that I'm sharing. So what I did next was to create like a hybrid where I started the conversation in Messenger. And this is entirely what I did in November. This is exactly what I did to close $73,000 in sales in November without getting on sales calls, right? I started the conversation in Messenger, and then I sent them a pre-recorded video to watch, right? Which specifically outlined how I work. So it wasn't like a training, but it outlined how I work, and then I offered to also answer questions, right? And just to be really, really, really clear, when I'm talking about these messenger conversations, it's not cold outreach ever for me, right? And there's no automation or bots or anything ever, not for me, and not that I've tested, right? So the method I followed was just simply having a sales conversation in Messenger instead of hopping on a Zoom call. And one of the biggest lessons I learned is that from a strategy perspective, it's really, really important to make sure that you're making your value clear immediately. Because in Messenger, you can lose people very fast, right? It's quite different when you've got them captivated on a call. Let me know if I'm making sense, and please ask me any questions, right? Because when you're chatting over Messenger and not phone or Zoom, you lose things like tone, the tone of your voice, the verbal cues. So you need to be really specific and clear from the start with your messages, right? You can't sound robotic, and at the same time, it's got to get straight to the point and really highlight the value right from the start. Yeah. So when I'm having a conversation with you over chat, I think about it, right? Think about your own experience. So if I'm having a conversation with someone, I want to instantly understand what I'm getting. Yeah. And the value and the return on investment and all the things and why I should buy right away. Or maybe that's just me. Let me know if this is you or not, right? Because often how we sell is how we buy, right? Or how we buy is how we need to sell as well, because we need to sort of think what's important to us to buy in order to sell. Does that make sense? Anyway, let me know. I want to know those key things straight away, right? So I found through my testing that you've got to kind of get to the point, get to the value really early on. So what I do to share this is I drop this video outlining, so ask a few questions, then drop the video outlining exactly what it looks like for me to coach you. This video includes things like what I'm going to do for you, how I'm going to help you, how your business will grow when you invest, and all the things, right? So, but it's short. It's short. It's not a fancy video. It's not a branded video. It's just a YouTube video of me just talking to the camera. Yeah. So it's not like scripted to perfection. It's just, nice and simple, right? I mean, quite honestly, everything that I do is really, really simple. But because it's so simple, it works really well and it feels really organic. It feels genuine and it feels intimate. Let me catch up. That's an interesting approach. If they DM that they're interested in more info, you send them a pre-recorded video. And yeah, so I have a little bit of a conversation first, Elizabeth, and then I send a pre-recorded video. Yeah. Yeah. And they're really warmed up and probably quite ready to make a decision. Absolutely. Yes. I use the voice notes. I feel like they make me more real to the client. Yeah, absolutely. And some of us, audio is better than text. Yeah, so it's kind of finding your method and what works best for you as well. Yeah. Thank you, Geneva. So my question to you, gorgeous ladies, is: do you have a clear sales process that you follow in your messenger conversations? And let me know if you have any questions on anything that I've shared so far, right? Because strategy aside, there's a whole thing that we need to look at around the mindset. You created one video and shared the same video with all you were chatting with. Yeah, because I have one offer, Karen. Yeah, so it's for my mastermind. Yeah, and so they're asking me how they can work with me. And so, yes, my business is simple, ladies. It's simple. It's really, really simple. And it works. And that's the thing. We don't need to overcomplicate our business in order to be successful. And, but sometimes we do. We don't maybe mean to do it, but we end up doing it because we think we have to do more and give more and be more and all those things. And, we just need to believe that we're enough, right? And this is the mindset piece that comes into it as well. Mindset is huge, right? For this strategy to work, the mindset is a big part, right? To enroll clients without a sales call to work, you have to believe that it's possible. If you believe a sales call is necessary for someone to invest at a high ticket price, then you are 100% absolutely right. Yeah. Whatever you believe, you are right. The biggest shift I had to make was to shift my beliefs around this. As truly, I also believed that a sales call was essential in order to enroll high ticket clients. And that's just not true, right? Let's face it. It's not a fact that will stand up in a court of law, is it? Is it? Right, you need to develop I'm so sorry, Coach Sue. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Lovely to see you here. You need to develop a stronger script. Yeah, look, and this, I don't use scripts, but the flow and the way we ask questions and what we say, yeah, to an extent needs to be really, really considered, because a lot of that can change the outcome. Yeah. The mindset piece is such a big piece, right? And something that my current coach reminds me that might be helpful for you is you can't have a belief without also having an opposite belief. Yeah, because a belief is not fact. Yeah, a belief is just a belief. Yeah, so there are plenty of coaches out there who will insist that a call is essential to enroll high ticket clients. And for them, that is their truth, and they are 100% right. And quite honestly, I was one of those people too, until I shifted this. Yeah, I believed it too. From an energetic perspective, I make sure that I don't get, that I really truly believe this. Yeah. It's so important to shift that. If you kind of still think, oh, well, who's really going to buy in the DMs without getting on a sales call, and especially if that's how you see the world yourself, and that's exactly what you expect yourself, then you're right, people won't. Yeah. People won't. Whatever we believe is right. And until we do the work to shift those beliefs, then this strategy won't work, right? The strategy is just one part of it. The mindset is the other part of it, and the energetics is the third part of it. Yeah. From an energetics perspective, I make sure that I don't get caught up in an endless follow-up loop, right? Again, there are plenty of business coaches out there who will insist that follow-up is essential. And again, they are right. There's so much evidence, right? There's so much evidence that shows that follow-up increases sales conversion. So I'm not arguing with that, right? Because it's facts. There's evidence, right? There's statistics that demonstrate that follow-up results in more sales, right? So, you may have come across this in different ways. Well, there are people who actually follow up. And then there's, you might click on an ad or look at something on Google or somewhere, and then suddenly you see a little picture of that thing that you looked at on a completely different website as you're browsing something else, right? That is a form of follow-up. People need to see and hear the same thing and be kind of chased around the internet in order to be front of mind and to buy. I believe that, right? I just do it in a different way. I just changed my approach, and I've changed my standards. I just decided I did not want to be the person who chased a prospect. That's become my standard, right? But strategically, I still do things to make sure I am very visible to the people who are considering working with me. Yeah. So there's the energetic piece as well as the strategic piece. Yeah. I just decided that I just want to attract the most incredible women to my world, and I believe they're all out there, and I believe that the right women will come to me at the right time, and I'm a magnet to them. Yeah. So that's the mindset piece. That's the belief piece. Yeah. And then I trust, and I don't chase. But back to the strategy, I strategically make sure that I am visible to them. Yeah. love that energy I just decided. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it took me a long time, right? Well, it didn't take me a long time, but you know, I'm sort of 5 years-ish into this business now, where I'm really embracing and understanding the mindset and energetics and how effective it is alongside a great strategy. One without the other doesn't work. Energetics alone doesn't work. Mindset alone doesn't work. Strategy alone also doesn't work. It's just the combination of all three that works a dream. That's where magic happens, right? It really is. You know the feeling, right? When you're selling or having conversations in Messenger, there's nothing worse than when you're thinking you're having a great conversation with your dream potential clients, and then suddenly it's like, this happens. Yeah. People start ghosting you. And this happens to a lot of us, yeah, including my clients. And quite honestly, it happens to me too. I'm not saying I'm immune to this, right? I am not like, this is not magic. This is a combination of who I'm being, but also what I'm doing, right? I'm doing as well. I'm doing the strategy piece as well to make sure that I am freaking visible to these people who are on the fence. Yeah. They might be too scared to show their face, to show their hand, because they're afraid. Yeah. But I'm making sure that I'm super visible to them without chasing them. And being ghosted, hearing crickets, you know, it's a common issue, right? We all have it, and including, you know, my clients. And there are tweaks that can be made to the conversation to reduce that, to improve open rates, to so from a strategic perspective, that's all possible. And then how to be more visible to these people, right? Go and like, love, and comment on their stuff. Yeah. Even if they're ghosting you or whatever, but at the same time, don't go chasing them. That's what I do. I'm not telling you what to do, right? I'm not your coach, and I'm not telling you what to do, but that's what I do. Yeah. And even with my clients, it's about finding the balance, right? Everyone, we can all run our business in a slightly different way. There's no cookie cutter solution. It's about finding what works best for ourselves. Yeah. And there's always a reason why people ghost us. Sometimes it's genuinely they're busy and their inbox goes crazy and they miss our message. And you have to know how to follow up properly if you want to follow up. How are you managing your mindset? That is a really, really good question. So Helen, it's really doing the belief work, right? It's really observing the thoughts, doing the belief work, whether it's finding the practice that works best for you. Yeah. To really kind of, you know, EFT tapping can work, really observing your thoughts and making, you know, I'm not a fan of suppressing or ignoring the negative thoughts and beliefs that come up for us, right? So affirmations only work to an extent, as far as I'm concerned. Again, that's my belief, yeah? And so if you believe affirmations work, then that's great. It can work for you. So I'm kind of like, get to the root cause of the problem, get to the root, find out what's going on, do the deep subconscious work, and then shift your beliefs from that. You know, really kind of And there are so many different modalities, Helen, that can be used in order to manage mindset. But it really is conscious work, right? It really is. For many years, I was chasing the strategy. I thought my mindset's perfectly good. I don't need to do work on mindset. I'm fine. It's the strategy that I'm missing. I just need to figure out this one little thing and everything's going to be okay. And gosh, was I wrong. Yeah. Strategy is important, don't get me wrong. The strategy piece is important, but the mindset plays a huge, huge part. Yeah. And so I still believe, right, that more sales can be closed with follow-ups. But absolutely, awareness is everything, Helen, yeah. But I've really been experimenting with this energy of leaning back, trusting, and, believing, yeah. And it's that feminine energy and doing the inner work to shift the negative thoughts that might be coming up that won't be serving us, right? And to hold the belief and hold energetic space for all these amazing women that are out there who are reaching out and who are commenting on posts and who are saying that they'd love to work with me and all the things, and trusting and believing that they will come when the time is right. We're all on a different timeline, and and I'm holding space for them, and I'm holding the belief that it's going to happen, and that it could happen today, that it could actually happen today, or it could happen tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm not letting those thoughts of, what if they don't? What if I need to do more? What if I'm not enough? What if, I should follow up? What if, and all those other what ifs that we all have, right? I choose not to pay attention to those what ifs. I acknowledge those what ifs, and then I kind of put those what ifs aside and work on my beliefs that it's working, it's coming, people are coming, yeah. And I hold the space for that. The transformation that I've personally experienced whilst just testing, right, enrolling clients without sales calls has been huge. And I used to be so much in my masculine, right? I really was. I was like a hustler. I was a strategy girl. It's all about the strategy. My entire corporate career was in consulting. It was very much about the doing, yeah. And I had a lot of success that way too. So don't get me wrong, it works. The doing is important, right? And now I'm really playing and tapping into the feminine, right? But with balance. Balance. I hope anyone who's just joined now and might be hearing about this is not just thinking the feminine energy alone is going to be enough, because it's not. And this is the biggest issue and mistake that I see out there, right? And I say this with so much love and kindness, right? There's so much bullshit out there about making money in our sleep and making money while having a bath, and it's all great marketing, right? Awesome marketing. But without a strategy, that the feminine, the without the masculine, the feminine won't work, right? It just won't. It won't. I see the mistakes of either too much in the masculine, too much doing, chasing, action taking, resulting in burnout, yeah, and the complete opposite. And that is all the meditation and the journaling and the trusting and the belief that the mindset work and all the things, and it's coming, and I'm waiting, and it's coming, and I'm open to receiving, and saying all the affirmations and all the things, and then not taking action. The balance is so important, right? Lying in a bath and making money, or making money while we sleep, has been so misinterpreted and misunderstood by so many people because it's just fabulous marketing. Yeah, it's actually excellent marketing. True story, the day I made $50,000 in a day, which happened a couple of weeks ago, I don't know, three weeks ago or something like that, happened in November. All the sales truly happened while I was sleeping. But the truth is, all the action happened days and weeks preceding that, right? So, did I make $50,000 in my sleep? Technically, yes, but realistically, it was the work that I put in leading up to that point, with the links that were out there on the internet in different people's inboxes, that resulted in that happening, right? It just so happened that it was in my sleep. So there's that, right? So my question to you, while I read and catch up on your comments, is, what if sales could feel as effortless and as simple as I've just described? Yeah. And you could have these conversations in your messenger. And yeah, imagine that. What if? That's a nice what if. Geneva says, honestly, on the client side, this makes you stand out because the DMs are filled with hard follow-up messages, so it's perfect. Yeah, look, yeah. I just don't want to chase people. I'm like, if you want to work with me, you know where I am. I've given you all the information. We're adults, right? You can make a buying decision. I'm showing up every day. I have a great business. I have incredible client results, and you've just got to make a decision. I'm not here to convince you. Yeah. I just don't want to convince anyone, even though I know often people are just stuck in fear. But that's the vibe. Yeah. You're so generous. Thank you. Of course, the universe will be generous back. Helen, I really truly believe that, and I really appreciate that comment, right? And I'm not afraid, because I feel so abundant, and I want you beautiful women to be able to walk away from this training or any of my trainings and actually implement a few things and see little shifts happen or big shifts happen, and tell me, and I tried this. Like, I've had women who've said, I watched your high converting sales training and I closed an $8,000 sale. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's so awesome, and they don't necessarily become clients, right? And that's okay. I don't mind. I know I've had an impact. I know I've made a difference. Yeah. And then equally, there are others who might try things and it may not work. And, you know, and that's the thing, that's the magic, because that's where a coach can really help. And my coach has been hugely helpful to me throughout this process too, because, you know, she helps me to recalibrate and to realign. And when I'm having my wobbles, we all have wobbles. No one is immune from wobbles, right? I am so far from perfect, let me tell you. I have plenty of wobbles. It's really awesome to be able to go to her and say, okay, I'm really wobbling. I don't know, is this working? I don't even know if it's working. What am I doing? Am I like burning my business? Am I being short-sighted? Should I do more? Do I need to blah, 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 blah. And she just holds space for me and kind of, I just sometimes, I'm not even asking her to help me. I'm just kind of like sharing how I'm feeling. And she asks me one or two questions and I'm like, okay, got it. I'm back. Okay. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you. And I'm gone again, you know? And so it's super helpful. It's super helpful. Geneva says, I think it's beautiful to hold space for them to come to a decision without fear. Absolutely. And you know, and we all have our different timelines, and some people make decisions quickly and other people make decisions, you know, they take longer to make decisions, right? And it's okay. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be visible. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be constantly there, visible, showing up, and when they feel the time is right, they will jump on board. So there's that. Yeah, seed planting. Oh, you are so welcome. Coach Sue. Is it Sue? I wish I knew how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. Let me know if there's if you can spell it phonetically so I can kind of figure out if I'm saying it right. So what if you didn't have to deal with being really nervous or really hating hopping on sales calls, right? Or having to kind of make time in your schedule or work longer hours or, you know, deal with no-shows and all those other things that come with, you know, sales calls, right? What if you didn't have to do any of that, right? What if you could just have sales conversations with a bunch of people in Messenger simultaneously at the same time and just give them the links and give them everything up front and trust and believe and know that it's all coming and you've done enough and you are enough, and if it's meant to be, it will be. Because all of this is entirely possible, right? And this is the work. This is what I help my clients with. It's a combination of the strategy, the mindset, the energetics that's required. And if you'd like to explore what that might look like if you were to work with me and you are ready to scale your business to multiple six figures in the simplest, I don't do complex, and most sustainable way, then drop #support or slide into my DMs and let's just have a quick conversation and see if we're a good fit, right? Because we may not be a great fit. I can't help everyone that I speak to. So I offer an ROI guarantee. So it is really important that you are an action taker in order for, I don't kind of say you have to do this, and all the things and jump through hoops and run backwards and all of that in order to get your ROI guarantee. But you need to show up for it and you need to take action and you need to be willing to do the work and you need to be willing to ask for help. That's all I ask, right? And I am going to love you and leave you now. Thank you for being here. It is always so much fun to do these trainings when I have some people to engage with and interact with. So I truly appreciate you all. If you are watching the replay, #replay, tag me if you have any questions at all. I will be happy to hop back in here and answer anything. even after this training, any of you gorgeous ladies, if you're kind of thinking, I wish I'd asked Anne that, ask me, right? Ask me. I'm happy. I'm an open book. I'm happy to give you as much as I can, right? Because sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, that's a really big question. I don't even know how to answer that in one comment. But I'll do my best. I will absolutely do my best. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you around on the internet. Thanks, guys. Bye.